Welcome to SGMD. Treating cancer with marijuana. Found something else. Serious physicians out there who think cannabis could become a real tool to fight all sorts of things, including cancer. Good job. Landon Riddle was a normal 2-year-old boy until he was diagnosed with leukemia. Heard about medical marijuana.
We didn't have anything else to lose.
One chemical in marijuana, THC, is responsible for the psychoactive effects, or the high. It also combats nausea and pain. But another chemical, called CBD, seems to have additional benefits.
Love you.
In January, Landon began taking both as an oil.
As soon as we started doing oil, his platelets have been above normal for a cancer patient. They've been at a regular, healthy person's level, and they can't understand why.
And it's this effect.
40,000 likes on the London Cannabis Club site, that's the biggest, and they're hoping the UK will follow the path of other countries, the Netherlands perhaps, Portugal, and a growing number of American states in decriminalizing cannabis use and production.
Mission for 25 years. Now, Lydia says there are 2 therapies that are transforming the way she thinks about health. I want to get to those, but just to get her started, 25 years mindset.
Yeah.
Medicinal marijuana is something that our audience knows I've been aggressively touting as something we should study more.
Yes.
Has it played a role in your recovery?
Yes, medicinal cannabis is a big part of my recovery, and initially, my husband is a medicine man, really, a plant medicine man, and he grows, because we live in California, so we can, he grows cannabis for me and makes tinctures, and the pain relief was incredible, even from the first time, even just a few drops of the tinctures made such a difference to me that I totally believe in it.
But our government says it doesn't work. Haven't you read the reports?
Yeah, well, I know it does. And I've been fighting for it too in Australia, where they're cannabis, and different strains react to different illnesses. So it's not just cancer, it's Parkinson's and MS and
autism.
All the autism and epilepsy we know for children, of course, but really it's a healing herb.
He said you wanted to go.
Yeah, I did.
He was looking forward to it.
After 4 years of treatment, it's enough.
Enough was enough. And so this story then takes an entirely different turn. How did that happen?
Through lots of research, I'd done lots of research. Obviously, when his secondary cancer arrived and it was so unknown, I turned to the internet and started looking, and over the following months and couple of years afterwards, cannabis just kept popping up. People kept emailing me, small, but it was there.
And to test the theory, you actually withdrew the cannabis after a little while,
I did,
and the blood count started to go down again.
Yeah. So where are you now? How are you now?
Perfectly healthy.
Sickness, cancer, that ended up making this Northern California couple a believer in the healing powers of medical cannabis. In so many words, the Retner's Tale Culture magazine, that they believe it was a concentrated form of the cannabis plant, which the federal government continually maintains has no accepted medicinal value, that saves Stan's life from cancer. This is Stan and Barb's story.
After the
I would like to tell you about the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me in my years of working as a palliative care physician. This happened a couple of years ago. I was asked as a consultant to see a woman in her 70s, retired English professor, who had pancreatic cancer. When I went to see her, we talked about those symptoms, and in the course of that consultation, she asked me whether I thought that medical marijuana might help her. I thought back to everything that I had learned in medical school about medical marijuana, which didn't take very long because I had learned absolutely nothing. And so I told her that as far as I knew, medical marijuana had no benefits whatsoever. And she smiled and nodded and reached into the handbag next to the bed and pulled out a stack of about a dozen randomized controlled trials showing that medical marijuana has benefits for symptoms like nausea and pain and anxiety. She handed me those articles and said, maybe you should read these before offering an opinion, doctor. So I did. That night, I read all of those articles and found a bunch more. When I came to see her the next morning, I had to admit that it looks like there is some evidence that marijuana can offer medical benefits. And I suggested that if she really was interested, she should try it. You know what she said? This 73-year-old retired English professor, she said, I did try it about 6 months ago. It was amazing.
Scientific perspective, can you explain to the average listener how cannabinoid oil works on a cancer cell?
First, let me talk about the additional cannabinoids reach the cancer cell. It locks into it, sends the ceramide out to destroy the mitochondria, which starves the cell to get together.
On helping AIDS and cancer patients.
But one man in town says the drug might offer an all-out cure. Maria Garcia with that new information tonight.
Eric, Heather, you think medical marijuana can cure cancer? Well,